My name's Phoebe O'Shaughnessy and this is my video assessment for Curriculum Planning and Assessment for Primary Practicum 2. So I will be completing my professional placement at Tintern Grammar School in Ringwood East. This private school is quite nearby to me, which is fantastic, and has kindergarten to year 12 on the campus. It'll be really interesting to observe this dynamic and how the school is laid out and the amount of collaboration between the different year levels, as it's something I haven't experienced before. I've learnt that in the primary years at this school, the boys and the girls are separated. So I am a bit apprehensive about that and perhaps a bit worried that I'm missing out on half of the experience, as I'm only going to have experience teaching one gender. I'm also really interested in observing the sex of the teachers and whether they have male teachers for the boys or vice versa, or if it matters at all. Anyway, regardless of what year level I'm put in and whether I'm teaching the boys or the girls, I'm just really looking forward to building a relationship with a fantastic school in my local area. The content description that I've chosen is to create short, imaginative and informative texts using growing knowledge of text structures and language features for familiar and some less familiar audiences, and selecting print and multimodal elements appropriate for audience and purpose. So this content description is very broad and covers a lot of information and what I think are really fun skills for grade 2 students. So this content description is in the achievement standard of, well, basically in the whole thing, to be honest, because being able to create texts and use language fluently is really one of the premier skills for children and something that is inherently important throughout the rest of their life. So it really does crop up in a lot of different sentences because it really is the basis for a lot of other skills. However, specifically I've found this statement: when discussing their ideas and experiences, children use everyday features and topic-specific vocabulary. They explain their preferences for aspects of texts using other texts as comparisons. They create text that shows how images support the meaning of the texts. I've come up with 2 additional elaborations to my content description, and they are recognising the relationship between text and image, and children correct their own spelling mistakes and offer advice to their peers on their own spelling and punctuation. I chose to come up with ones to do with spelling and punctuation and also images because I believe those are the ones that are addressed at the lowest level within the existing elaborations in the Australian curriculum. Using Scootle and ABC Splash, I've located a resource which is a video of Andy Griffiths, the renowned children's author. What Andy Griffiths talks about in this video is how to take a everyday interaction or even an everyday just process like having a bath and exaggerate it somehow to come up with a short story. So he talks about in his video how it's not all about plot and this happens, then this happens, then this happens. He really speaks about manipulating your language to make things more interesting. So it's a really great video for children to watch, and then we can have a in-class discussion about how to use describing words and really set a scene rather than
I went to the shops, then I bought some Pringles.
You know what I mean? So I think this resource is absolutely fantastic because it's a really great video, and especially if you've read a few Andy Griffiths books within your classroom, students will be like, whoa, I'm actually hearing and getting advice from the man that wrote one of my favourite stories. And I mean, that's how I felt when I first watched the video, because I grew up with these books and I was just like, oh, that is so cool that I'm finally learning the process in which Andy Griffiths writes his own short stories. So I think it's a very fantastic resource, and to be honest, I'll probably use it at some stage within my placement or when I'm an actual teacher. The next activity I've chosen is so that children can develop their skills in writing factual pieces. So using a resource that's from Scootle, children are going to learn all about the life cycle of eggs and how eggs work, and choose a area, whether that's concentrating on like chicken's eggs or fish eggs or frogs or, you know, anything that really takes their own personal interest as to meet the needs of the Australian curriculum once more in a different area. They will create a fact sheet, whether that be a poster or using an ICT resource such as Microsoft PowerPoint, and create a factual piece of writing that explains clearly to other students their findings on eggs. So this activity could perhaps even be done in pairs, and that gives children an opportunity to develop their personal and social capability. So this unit of work really will develop a lot of those things, and also it involves a lot of science-based inquiry. And it's really fantastic when like critical and creative thinking, like to do with science skills, cross over into literacy so that you get a well-balanced and rounded curriculum that shows to children that everything you learn intertwines and that skills are applicable, not only just within their own certain subject, but across a wide span of activities. So to conclude, I believe that ABC, Splash and Scoodle are really fantastic resources to use, and they just are a home for so many great references and resources. It's just such a fantastic initiative to have, and the website is just so clear and concise and easy to use. So I'm really looking forward to using that in my teaching placement and also in my practical career. So please find my presentation overview attached and enjoy looking at it, because I think that these resources are really fantastic and really applicable. And once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.